Hey everybody, Rob Gauthier, the ET Whisperer. Sorry for the late start for the Pleiadian Pulse monthly energy update. I have been in Japan and I just got back a couple days ago, and my sleep from a 12-hour time difference is just starting to level off. I wanted to say thank all of you for being so awesome and so patient, and all of you who are on my Patreon page. I will be catching those up very soon too, but I wanted to start with this. I hope you guys enjoy. I love you guys very much. And also, still doing some live events. August in Mount Shasta, West Virginia is the channel panel. I'll be in Japan again in September. And if you want to go to check out the events, go to etwhisper.com/events, or just go to etwhisper.com and go to the events tab, and you can see all of the things that I have coming up. I love you guys. Thank you for being a part of the ET Whisper, and we'll see you guys on the other side.
Greetings to all, this is Aridif, that is A-R-I-D-I-F, and this is its field. We understand all of you desire to know more about the month and period known as July in your year of 2025. But before diving into this concept, there are of course the two things that we have always expressed. The first, above and beyond all things that are expressed in this day, to know, to feel, and to perceive that you are loved in our perspective is of the utmost importance. Secondly, it is our greatest excitement, and within that same form of great excitement in which we co-create with you, not only in this moment, but throughout all moments of your linear time perspective. Now, as many of you have heard, as we have shared through the concept and the philosophy of sharing these energy updates as they were, the Pleiadian Pulse format is that we share what is in the upcoming month, the energy forms that take a part of the co-created collective consciousness of Earth. Regionally, often we share certain energies that are open to creating specific forms of events or energies within. But we also have shared that it is very important to remember that you are the creative force within your own universal structure, and that your actions dictate that which you can and that which you cannot experience in your personal reality. We only share these as to show you where energy may be a bit more resistance naturally, or a bit more open and supportive to your creations in that way. So it is very important for you to remember your own manifestational qualities as they are, as you experience. Now, as we have shared previously, there are two waves in majority of the human complex of consciousness, and within this month we will share first the first wave, and the second wave will be brought upon the second part of that month's experience. So as you are going into July, as you are already aware, the first week, very open in that way already, having passed on to the fourth and the experience of that energy. So going from that point forward in the fifth and moving forward, it will be mostly a calm form, one where you are able to relax back into the energy of your experiences, having multiple months of various moving energies and parts. The first wave of you will feel a lull in that time, a place where perhaps you are finishing certain experiences or starting new ones, but fairly inconsequential in that way. Going through the experience, you will have to deal with certain emotional context, looking at what you are creating, doing some deeper mental aspects of working upon what you desire. But not a great deal of energy will stir in that way. It will feel very calm or very mundane, depending upon what your own emotional situation and mental status are. So as you perceive that first week going into the 8th and 9th, in the period of July, most of this energy will be a very normal experience. Now starting towards the 8th and 9th, there are building energies for technological aspects of consciousness in your greater collective consciousness. Many forms of that energy which are technological in nature have already been accumulating. The energy for the collective consciousness itself has a very high window of great breakthroughs in technology from the period of your 9th on to the period of the 14th and 15th. These windows, where things that have steadily grown will start to expand exponentially further than what previously were, noting that external technology is a very important part of your human experience and your near future for the several years leading forward. The consciousness around technological aspects of your energy and your personal experience may come to fruition as well. Learning new tricks or new ideas within technology, this window is a very good opportunity for the personal entity to open up the things in their own life that are technologically not been integrated deeply, things that you have heard about but have not learned about. This would be a very strong energy for you to start learning and working with technology. The energy for the collective also shows some repairs in certain world conflicts for a very short window. Now, of course, this builds as it goes further into that month period, going into the 17th to 24th, and in that range, what was once starting to look as it calms down may create a larger precipice of world affairs that feel very intense, that feel very negative. The possibility of the energy related to war or conflict may sharply escalate quickly, as if it comes from nowhere, as if it did not make sense that it was there. The energy for personal conflict within your own experience may have had small bursts throughout the month, may have had resistances that you have had to deal with in a personal, internal, or external way with other entities. But at this moment could be a very large experience, especially in those areas and regions that you thought were healing well. So, of course, entities that are in the first wave are already to the third week that year, and entities upon the second wave will experience the time frames differently, as the first wave that is done towards the 7th and 8th region will just be starting for these entities in that same time frame. The second wave going through the technological spurts being upon the second week, and going into that place where conflict sharpens. Now, of course, those of you who perceive from a second level will still notice collective events that occur, things that are too large for you not to perceive. But in your personal experience, that energy would be more so in the last days of the month, or even the very initial first part of your next month of August. Now, those in a collective consciousness sense, in personal levels emotionally, there are great highs that started in the beginning of that month, understanding a breaking apart of certain old forms of energy, releasing expectations of what old energies in your own mind should and should have not been. And as you enter the first period of the month, the ties and relationships that you hold, you will start either having a feeling of pressure upon them, or a feeling of release, knowing where to let go of the pressure, knowing what parts you yourself have caused in that pressure. There may even be conflicts resolved in unthought of ways, whereas normally when you have conflicts with another, it may be you that tries to make the peace in the most normal of circumstances, but the other reaches out for peace, or perhaps you are the one who holds grudges, but you feel the need to call for peace in that transaction. This is a very normal conflict energy, and is very present within the concept of the month, as it were. Now, understanding as well the lunar form of energy within its cycles during new moon in the month period, the energy of that blank slate of emotions will be more intensified in the very first week of that energy. The concept of what normal humans perceive as new moon's energy, the possibility for fresh slate rebuilding, the concept creating your own lunar cycle. This concept holds a bit of resistance when it comes to the creative processes for some of you in that first and second cycle, and this is because of your own energy as it experiences the concept of conflict being a greater part. Now, of course, knowing the emotional ups and downs of yourself, the ups and downs of those that you normally interact with in life, is an important thing to understand and know. This way you are self-aware, this way you are aware of those that are most co-creative with you. Now we suggest this to all humans, all times, no matter what month or what energetic lunar cycle holds for you. But in this month it is truly important to study it more deeply, the nature of your own faults as it pertains to conflict, the nature of those that you co-create with, and their pressure points as well. This will help you in multiple ways in your future, and in that now moment, it will allow you to know that when pressure is starting to build, and you understand and know your breaking point, you're able to simply walk away from that energy, knowing the same as those that you co-create with, knowing not to engage them when they are in certain cycles of their own self, knowing that even if they try to work within creating conflict, and if you are not a willing participant, there can be no true argument, only one dynamic showing energy of aggression towards you. And of course that does not feel good to most humans, but still, it does not give you the opportunity to volley that anger back and forth with another person. Now, in the context of the experience that all of you have as July, the intensity for the personality in yourself and those around you can intensify greatly. This is a natural annual cycle from those that experience the energy of fire, the energy of your summer months in June, July, and August in the northern hemisphere. Create that fiery energy. Create being very strong in nature of your personality and appearance. Those in the southern hemisphere in the winter, the resting of your personality self, the death of the old personality from the last previous cycle, the ability to sit in homage to your own previous version and to think of what comes next in that way, to create for yourself, for others around you in that way, but still with the energetic dynamic where conflict is a part of that experience. You may still see that dull level of attitude that you feel in the winter comparatively be amplified greatly in that way. You still may have to deal with that energy as well. Now, as you approach the end of the month, you'll notice that certain weather patterns that we have suggested throughout the time, the earthquakes as they were the flooding regions as they were. There are some scares for many humans, some that do come to fruition, but many of the greater fears are shown to not be worthwhile. Many fears that have been built up for years, for earthquakes, tsunamis, etc., showing that it is not the same that they perceived, that the intensity of those things were not on par with what they once perceived and believed, knowing that the energies of the fires that break outward also not to the intensity of what thought were. Many of that projection that come from conflict between human and human, between country and country, between region and region, the force of nature versus the force of humans, the force of humans versus the force of nature. All of these are projected in this month with a greater fear than the value of what truly comes. And of course the feeling when it comes may be nearly as intense as what you thought it would be. But after removing yourself, after going into later August, you will look back upon this time and see the intensity was more so that internal rather than that of external as well. As you go into the next month period, remember that certain geological findings will come to fruition in the last end of that July month and the first part of August month, which is simply regaining knowledge of ancient wisdom, reclaiming lost histories and understanding deeper aspects. We wish to bid all of you adieu for this day, knowing that not only are you loved, but we love you as well, and of course we bid you adieu.